Alrighty, so we are in the KCR section. We're going to be talking about KCR and why it is so obnoxious, and there's literally 008 to counter this stand specifically. I'm going to start with KCR. So, first reason I'm going to say KCR is literally one of the best stands, either top one or top two. I mean, ignoring MIH. Let's just ignore MIH's existence real quick. KCR and SCR are contenders for the number one stands ever during the whole game's lifetime. KCR, the first reason I'm going to say is for the Epitaph. Now, the Epitaph, for even KC has it, but KCR's is way more OP. KCR has like a 20 or 18 second counter, and what it does is if you press T and your opponent tries to hit you, when you're in Epitaph, you're going to teleport behind your opponent, and you're going to do like 40 damage. Now that on paper doesn't sound like a lot, right? 40 damage, it's like nothing. You're just crying about it. To be fair, yes, but when you think about the fact that KCR has everything else in its moveset, plus something which every 24 seconds, or like every 20 seconds, you finally get them in a combo, or you're about to hit this finishing blow, and then they just press the no diavolo da, and then they stall in 18 other different ways. The next reason why KCR is broken, which goes in tangent with the Epitaph, is the Reality Marble. This move has gotten nerfed countless times, but in the Shadow of the World update, they buffed the absolute living hell out of Reality Marble. In Reality Marble, what happens is if you can press X or C, whatever the keybind is, you press C and you trap your opponent in a box. Your opponent's view is kind of, they can't see properly. They're a bit blinded. They are slowed down and they are contained in this box. And it darkens their whole screen. So what this does is happens basically is that you get to this point where you have a full maxed Reality Marble, or just even normal Reality Marble. You are low on HP. Let's say you're running KCR with full regen, whatever. You press Reality Marble, and then you go hide in some other point in the map, where you're just sitting there hiding, and you're just slowly, passively regenning. This move is really, really bad. It did get nerfed to where you can't pose 8 seconds after you use it, but I promise you, it is not even close to being enough to nerf this move. This, paired with Epitaph, so someone's about to catch you with a really good move, a really strong move. You press Epitaph, no diavolo da, and then it's like it's a 8-second frustrating cutscene. 40 HP gets removed off of them. Then you press. Then right after they're frustrated and they're getting back up from the ground, summoning their stand again, you press Reality Marble. They have no idea where they're at. They're just blinded. They're slowed, so you can hit them more easily. And they can't. They're inside of a box. They can't do anything. And this ties into the next reason why KCR is broken, which is the Scythe. The Scythe, paired with, especially with Epitaph and Reality Marble. I'm kind of stacking the moves here to give you guys the bigger picture. If you have the Scythe is a move which, if you press H, it summons an uncancelable Scythe. Now, it is cancelable on Ragdoll, but the windup is so fast, it's like practically impossible. Let's say you pull up the Scythe, press the H key, and you pull up the Scythe, and you chuck the Scythe. You slice up the ground in an upwards direction and in a forwards direction. And what this does is it either true block breaks your opponent. You can true block break with this thing, or they take 32 damage and lose a limb, whether it's an arm or a leg. Both of them are equally as bad. If it takes out an arm, KCR is going to eviscerate your health with one barrage. If it takes out, and then once, if it takes out a leg, KCR is going to devour you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there is nothing you can do. Now, let's pair this with the other moves we've previously discussed. Let's say Epitaph. You do the counter, then the person gets back up after they took 40 damage for using their own move. You pop Reality Marble, then once they're in the reality marble and they have no idea what's going on, their screen is like darkened. You're able to hide in the darkness. They're contained inside of a box. They're slowed down, and then they just look, and then you use the scythe while they cannot see you, and then your opponent, what they will see this trace of red just striking at their direction, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're slowed, so it's hard for them to dodge the reality marble or to dodge the scythe in reality marble. They are they can't see you, they can't see people out of the box, so they just see this red fast ass scythe launching at them at full speed like if it was a great white shark, and they get hit. If they get hit, 32 damage, they don't have a limp, plus the slow of the reality marble. KCR is going to run in, it's going to destroy them, and then because the epitaph is so balanced, after all that reality marble on the scythe, they're going to M1 you and do a bit of boxing moves, and finally, once you have a bit of breathing room, they're going to run at you, and then epitaph, you get countered again, and this ties into the next move, which is time erase. Now, time erase, you guys might argue it's not that big of an issue, which it isn't. It's just I would say it's an overall pretty balanced move. But if you pair it with KCR's entire moveset, this thing is a problem. Firstly, if you grab KCR's time erase and you pair it with Epitaph and the reality marble and the time skip, we're not gonna make an entire section on time skip. It's just a teleport. But if you pair it with its other annoying ass moves and you have time erase, if you have a solidly upgraded time erase and a solidly upgraded reality marble, people are going to be in your reality marble for 10 seconds. In the time erase, you can be invincible for like a decently upgraded time erase would be like 7 seconds. So that's 70. So you epitaph, you scythe, you reality marble, and then you time erase, and then you can epitaph again. The time erase just makes it so that if they don't want to fight you, they don't have to. They hold the Z keybind, they avoid time stops, Conqueror's wills. They can avoid any BS combo they're about to receive. The opponent, if you dash, if you're against the KCR and you dash, and then they end the time erase, there is a second where you, for some reason, can't move. It's just like, that's just how it works. You dash, and then they insta TP you to your previous location after the time erase, and for some reason you're just stuck there for like a second. So they can guarantee whatever the fuck they want. Of course, you can counter this by M1ing, but remember there's Epitaph as well. Or they could just time erase, stall their time erase to regen, and then reality marble, and then just get away from you and then scythe. It is obnoxious. And now for the final piece of this yapathon, for KCR being absolutely insane, is the chop. Why did this stand get a chop? Why did KCR get a chop? I don't know. I don't care. I don't even know anymore. KCR literally got a chop. KC's one and only marketing strategy was a chop. KCR now has broken counter, broken stall move, which you trap people in. Broken stall move number 2, which you can just isolate yourself from, and if they mistime a dash, you can get free damage off of. You have a broken. If the KCR user is smart, that scythe is never ever getting dodged. You can't get dodged the scythe. They'll read you like a book. They can push you to a corner, reality marble, guarantee that scythe, and maul you. And then, just in case you hate the scythe and you for some reason can't ever dodge it or whatever, and you just have to block it, you get block broken. And what this means is they're going to use, like, let's say boxing. They're going to liver shot, chop, M1, and then they're just going to do a 1.6 damage barrage on you, and that's going to deplete your HP. KCR, this stand has like 2 stall moves, a broken counter, a teleport, a move where you can TP straight up to your opponent, a true block break, unavoidable, whatever you want to call it, and then a chop, like, and high destructive power too. This thing has there's no counters for something like this. There's 0 counters. for something like this. And I hope the devs or somebody watches this video. I'm sure, by the way, guys, Paragon's got us covered, and he's gonna nerf KCR. I'm sure of it, 100%. I'm sure it might take a while. I just hope y'all see this and y'all start maybe agree with me. Many people hate KCR, and I hate KCR, and I feel like I had to make this video. So yeah, especially because you can go back to Eclipse videos back in the day for 2v2s, for 1v1s, for main game, for SBR. KCR and SCR were always paired together, and they were always unstoppable. There's no counter. So these are my reasons why KCR is broken. You can agree or disagree with me, or give me way or suggest ways to nerf it in the comments. And now we're gonna move on to Silver Chariot Requiem. Now, Silver Chariot Requiem is a whole chapter in and of itself. Silver Chariot Requiem is probably it's at the same level but differently. It's at the same level of hyper brokenness that KCR is in. KCR has is unbeatable because it has an insane combo extender, a true block break, limb removal move that also does pretty good damage, an OP counter, and two stall moves. Two stall moves. And a teleport. SCR, on the other hand, is broken in its own way, mostly leaning towards the offensive route. KCR is good perfectly in both, and so is SCR, but SCR has something which KCR does not, but still somehow is at the same or on par as KCR, I think. KCR's got destructive power and everything. SCR does not. But SCR has the Conqueror's Will. I'm going to just straight up talk about this move really, just immediately, because you guys have no idea how actually stupidly overpowered this move is. It makes little to no sense. You basically press this button. It has half the windup of a time stop. I would dare even say like 30% the windup of a time stop. This thing is so fast. It's gotten nerfed in the past. In the past, it was 2 times faster than this and the current one. So, CW Conqueror's Will is just insane. It has a 120-second cooldown, which is so much. And you guys might say, well, Mamo, that's really balanced. That's balanced, right? 120 seconds. I can barely use that, like what, 2, maybe 3 times a game. I'll prove it. Well, just let me get to it. So this move, if it's properly upgraded, if you have like 2 to 3 upgrades, you delete 50% of your opponent's HP. Now, this basically, you press the H keybind, and anyone that's near you falls to the ground, sleeps, and you can just fiddle with them like a toy while they're unable to move. They're unable to do anything. So you just keep beating people up, and it's actually stupid because back in the day, CW was instant, and and it had 0 damage cap. You could just straight up one-shot your opponent. Now, Paragon made it back then to where the windup was doubled, which is good, and then CW got a damage cap of 40%. However, this damage cap doesn't necessarily work because what you can do is you can do a burn or a bleed on someone, and then you can CW, and then you can do another bleed, like a liver shot, while they're on the ground. At the very end, you do like a liver shot, or if you're using Jonathan, you do like a Scarlet Overdrive, and then they're going to take burn damage. While they're waking up, they take like 10 burn damage because of Scarlet, and then that is if they do dash right after they wake up. They get rid of the burn, but then because they wasted their dash, you can just continue rushing them with the helping hand and then combo them from there. So CW, you can just do 2 sets of M1s and then a bleed or a burn, and it's much more than for 40%. I would say near 50 to even 60 at times, which is insane. And also, after you get up from CW, after the pain is done, you are still, your character hitbox is like tripled, and your movement speed is slightly reduced. So besides not being able to fight, at all and getting 50% of your HP removed for free, you get comboed more. You're more vulnerable to SCR, even more, which is so dumb. And it's not like time stop, right? Where some stands can, I don't know, they can survive, they can resist the time stop, or they can run away from the time stop. Nope, CW is and then instantly someone's on the ground. They sit there for, I don't know, I think the duration's from like five to up to, if it's full max, nobody ever gets a full max, but if it's full maxed, I think the duration's like 10 seconds or some stupid shit. It's crazy. But next, besides the most broken move in its moveset, the next thing which I want to talk about for SCR is the Your Own Shadow. The Your Own Shadow, as I said many times, it's the most broken move in the entire game. There's no counterplay to it. Someone can push you, or you, if let's say you're fighting SCR, you Sentinel kick at them, and then they Your Own Shadow, they reflect back the Sentinel kick damage, about like 70% of it, so not all of it. But then what they do, so they Your Own Shadow, you're stunned from your own thing that you threw, and then they get to barrage you for free. You can't barrage back. They barrage you, they arrow barrage you, and then they use something at the end like a Haymaker or a Luck and Pluck, or an any move with Hyper Armor. And by the time you're able to barrage them back, they're winding up the Hyper Armor move. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's literally zero. And that move has like a 35-second cooldown. But every time you press that little T button, your HP is gone. Your HP is gone. And that makes SCR as broken as KCR, or even more broken, because not only you reflect damage, not only you're immune, but also it's every 34 seconds. Epitaph, which is 40 damage, that's like, what? Not even 10% of your HP. No, actually, that's like, well, if it did do 40 damage, if you're up against someone with no defense, then Raging Demon would do 40 damage. But the Your Own Shadow, it doesn't, it just deletes your HP. You pop it, barrage, air barrage, hyper armor move, and that is about 60% of your HP every 34 seconds. Epitaph, 20-second or something cooldown, and it takes not even 10% of your HP. Your Own Shadow, 35-second cooldown. How much HP is it removing? About 70 to 80. And then right after Your Own Shadow, you can do Conqueror's Will, and their fate is automatically sealed. This move, man, it's what makes SCR unique. So I wouldn't say remove it or nerf it, but perhaps higher the cooldown. I'm not sure, man. This is why I need you guys to recommend things in the comments, because I'm not even sure anymore. For SCR, Your Own Shadow. The next thing which I want to talk about is Helping Hand. Helping Hand is a move where you press the Y key bind and you take, I believe, 10% less damage, and you move about you move faster. I'm not sure how much. Probably like you move 20% faster. It's like 50% less than double XL, but it's still like extremely fast. So you're super fast. You have double the jump speed, or the jump height. So you can just bounce around like a grasshopper. You can jump M1, jawbreaker, jump M1 lever shot. You're just a grasshopper. They can't catch you. You can jump CW. Boom. You basically confirm it if your opponent is farther than a meter away from you. Just fucking hop around like a grasshopper at Mach 10. You take less damage. There's nothing they can do about it. This pairs really well with Your Own Shadow, because you press the funny Y button, and then since you run at them so fast, you pop the Y button, you pop the T button, and then you get to them instantly, and there's nothing they can do about it. And I mean, Aero Barrage is pretty self-explanatory. Just a BS of damage. I like it. I like it as a move though, but I don't like how, as an SCR user, I need to, or as someone who fights against SCRs in ranked, if my opponent gets one barrage, they get two for free and a block break, which is kind of BS. But then SCR has like mid to low destructive power, but it also has the pilot, and kind of blinds you during when it's piloting and it's next to you, but it's not that much, right? It's not as bad, but I would say, dude, CW and your own shadow, they're enough to break this down. Even though bro has nowhere near KCR's destructive power or stalling abilities, this thing still packs a punch. The stall is, even though it's not as much as KCR's, it's still ludicrous. The offense you get is like out of this world for a semi-passive stand. You can just barrage people for free. You can do so much fun stuff. But yeah, man, I just wanted to make this video to speak on why these two stands are so broken, and they should get some attention. Hierophant Green obviously is the most broken for now, but just want to make this video and see what you guys think about it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.